The views and opinions of this show is not necessarily the views and opinions of the National Hockey League, its affiliates, or sponsors. A Shot from the Point contains dark humor and foul language and is intended for mature audiences only. To summarize the previous, this isn't your grandma's radio show, and I'm not Foster Hewitt.
You're listening to the most badass hockey podcast in all of no land. This is A Shot from the Point.
Coming at you on demand from the heart of Europe. This is the most badass hockey podcast in all the known land. This is A Shot from the Point. Thank you for coming back, everybody. It is playoff time. I couldn't be more excited than I am now. I'm here with comedian extraordinaire, Jersey Jake Link. Jake, where do you see this year's 2013 NHL playoffs going?
I could care less.
Come on, give me some insight. Where do you see it going, Jake?
I could care less.
I'll tell you where it's going. Did you really think for a moment that I was going to let you off the hook? Oh, that's correct. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Rangers have made the Stanley Cup playoffs. Jake, what's your opinion on that? Are you still with us, Jake, or are you wiping tears away?
No, yeah, this hockey sucks. Bullshit game.
I planned all week to do that to you, and Andy told me
I know. You probably just had that queued up since this morning.
I had. I'll tell you exactly when I had it. About 8:45 Central European time.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm kind of sorry I didn't have you last week, buddy.
The NHL has it out for the Devils.
Is that it? Was it just bad calls the whole season?
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
The 10-game losing streak.
We talked about it early in the season, man.
Yeah.
And you can't have one of them in a shortened season, and that's really essentially what it came down to for the New Jersey Devils.
They had a 6-game losing streak, and then they had a 10-game losing streak.
Yeah, it's not. And
there wasn't much time in between the two losing streaks. We're talking like 5 games in between both, or something like that. And
you look like a team. You look at a team like the Washington Capitals, where they look. God, jeez, 3 weeks in they look buried. Does that make you want to commit Harry Carey when you see a team like that turn it around?
Yeah. Oh God! You know what?
Yeah.
I know. I've been on the Habs bandwagon.
You're getting off it?
No. I'm still sticking with that. But before the season started, I was like, this is the Caps' year.
Yeah.
And then after they got to that horrific start, just in the bottom of the league, and it is just like, I don't think they're going anywhere.
You weren't the only one, because you know what happens is these NHL folks have a tendency, these writers have a tendency to look at the Final Four teams or teams that had good runs in the playoffs and say, well, that's the next Stanley Cup champion. And ain't really the case. I think this is the Habs year, the Caps year. But we'll get it. I want to get into picks later and the game later. We'll start that at the top of the news and what have you. How are you doing otherwise, Jake?
I'm doing fine. Fine. Just busy weekend.
Sure.
Just got played some softball.
Yeah.
Lost a 7-4 game.
Yeah, and you had a mercy rule too, right?
Oh no, yeah, that was on my other softball. I'm on 2 softball leagues.
You're like my freaking brother. I can't believe he stayed married as long as he did. Well, he's still married, but I can't imagine 4 or 5 soft, and he was in the same area, by the way. 4 or 5 softball teams. I cannot imagine doing that.
I'm on 2. One of them I kind of just show up for every once in a while.
Oh, really?
I'm on The Outlaws and Prestige Worldwide.
Prestige Worldwide?
You ever see the movie Step Brothers?
The Step Brothers. No, I never saw it.
With Will Ferrell and stuff.
Oh, that's why I didn't see it.
Yeah, I take you don't like Will Ferrell.
No, I don't.
I look at you. I look at you and just having a conversation. You would be someone that does not like Will Ferrell.
No.
I would not say. I would not think for 1 second.
Well, I like people who comedians that entertain me. Usually they have to be funny. That's I don't know. I never. Comedy lost me somewhere around Jim Carrey, and it never got back, at least in the movie. The only funny movie I think I've seen in the last 20 years, two I can think of. The first Hangover movie, I didn't bother seeing the second and the third. And I liked Euro and Road Trip, and that was it.
Huh.
You can stick American Pie up your ass or in your cock or wherever. I don't like any of that stuff. You can friggin' have it. The poopy pants joke, none of that stuff. It doesn't compare to what I grew up with like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. Those guys are still funny to me, and I don't get modern comedians at all whatsoever, and comedic actors. Oh, Office Space was funny too.
Yeah,
That's about it.
I'm very easily entertained. So,
well, I think that's what it is. I saw the NHL playoffs start. Let's start talking about dumb movies. Who is that idiot comedian, the Southern guy? Get her done.
Oh, Larry the Cable Guy?
Okay, Larry the Cable Guy. I saw him interviewed, and he's actually a really bright guy on some stupid... And he kind of pegged people like me as sort of being like intellectual comedy people. And, he's never really going to break with, a guy like me. But at the same time, you have these like New York... Times assholes, you're anti-intellectual. It doesn't really matter what makes you friggin' laugh, whether it's Will Ferrell or Jim Carrey or what have you. It doesn't really matter what I think. I don't know. I don't get, the comedy today.
Here's my theory. If you really love comedy, don't do comedy, because you will start to hate comedy and you start to just nitpick it.
Well, I did hang around comedians, and they really help smash anything, because I've never met a bigger bunch of miserable fucking conspiracy kooks in my entire life.
Yeah, and you know what? I sometimes I'm not the one, because here's the thing: when you go to an open mic, comics don't laugh at other comics' jokes.
Yeah, it's like submission in their mind.
It's crazy. It's just they don't. It's just they sit there and just sort of stone. I don't know if it's because half these times these guys have heard everything over and over again.
I'm sure that's part of it.
Or they're just, they're not trying to help that brother out.
No.
Me, if I hear something funny and I haven't heard it before, I'm going to laugh, you know?
You probably won't be rich then, because you're obviously not big enough fucking prick. All right. Let's get into some stuff that I found. We got a pretty good this. Let's see. Hey, it's Hockey Night in Canada. Yes, it is. This better work. It's not working. God damn, I hate the fucking New York Times. Of course not. Of course it's not working. It's been sitting here for an hour. Probably crashed 6 times. Well. Nice sound, Canadians. Here you go. Familiar sounds.
दोनों टीमां ਦਾ बहुत ही तकड़ा इतिहास ਮੌਂਟਰੀਅਲ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨਸ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਿਖੇ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰਣ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ 에ਅਰ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੈਵਰਲੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ CBC Hockey Night in Canada ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖਣ ਵਾਲੇ
Tommy, every time you come to my store, you take my Slim Jims. There's less Slim Jims, and I do not sell any Slim Jims. Every time you come in, they gone, and you gone, and they gone, and you buy spearmint gum. How does that happen?
These guys are just watching PK Subban the whole time. Very suspicious.
That's actually when I used to go to Indian stores. I wait till black kids walk in and I start stealing shit. Yeah, that was my move.
Hey, I wonder if they have the Punja The fucking Punja Don Cherry with really stylish headpieces.
I probably should have sent you this. I'm looking right at it, and I will post it in the box there, for sure. Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking at. I saw the pictures,
but they need a Don Cherry with like a bright, flamboyant pink.
Yeah, go ahead. The one guy's got an orange tie. Does that count?
No, I'm just saying, like, the whole thing, like, it needs, like, a Don Cherry thing.
Let's explain to the audience what we're talking about. There is a Punjab, which is one of 7,000 languages India has. In Punjab Broadcaster Hockey Night in Canada, apparently there's a very big Sikh Indian community in Canada. And it's actually a pretty big one where we're from, too. Also, if I'm not mistaken, and please don't hold me accountable, I think the Sikhs are from colder weather areas. I could be wrong about that. I wonder if I am. So I think it's actually a lot more natural than you might think. So you got a cold weather area, and from what you sent me an article, it's been canceled and it's been on, but it seems to be back on, and it looks like a regular Hockey Night in Canada broadcast. And yes, they have the turbans on and what have you, and they're rapping about hockey.
Hey, you want to know what they say if Toronto forces a Game 5?
What's that?
Thank you. Come again.
Ah!
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, here we go.
Remember in The Simpsons when Apu coached the hockey team?
I think so. Why? Remind me.
Oh no, there's one where Lisa becomes this phenomenal goalie and Apu's the coach, and it's like one of the best Simpsons episodes.
Yeah, but
like,
Apu is not Sikh Indian. He's Hindu.
What's the difference between Sikh Indian and Hindu?
Well, one's not a fucking Hindu and one's not a Sikh, you ignorant fucker. What do you think?
I'm American. I don't know.
You think I know? I don't know either. I'm well aware it's two different religions, though. I'm well aware. And neither of those two religions tend to bomb us, so I'm way okay with that.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's some more.
ਪਾਰ ਅਤੇ ਡੰਪਿਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੀ ਡਿਫੈਂਸ ਹੁਣ ਜੋ ਦਿਖਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਕਾਮਸਰ ਕਾਬਲੇ ਦੋਨੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੀ ਖੇਡਣਗੇ ਉਧਰੋਂ ਬੋਸ਼ਮਨ ਅਤੇ ਸ਼ਨ ਖੇਡਣਗੇ.
You know, look, Germans sound funny to me, too, so don't let me think I'm picking on these guys. I mean, it's fucking great, dude. And by the way, I'm all for this. As long as especially the fact that it's happening in Canada, as long as it's done the Canadian way, and we're not bringing the new intelligent hockey fan into the sport. I'll get into that one later. That seems to be the new way to deal with people you don't disagree with. You root for the Vancouver Canucks and call everybody stupid.
Oh yes, Curry Price has the hands of Ganesh. The final score was 7 Toronto, 11 Montreal.
High scoring game. Jesus.
Piquet some pen, you get out my store. We call Phil Kessel the cow because he is sacred. I know everything I'm saying is Hindu.
Yeah, I know, but it's still
I
funny.
don't care.
Let me see if I can play. I want to see them score. Hold on, I'm like trailing this stupid video. Does Ovechkin ever fucking score in this thing? All right, here we go.
ਪ੍ਰਾਉਨ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਬੈਕਸਟਰ ਹੁਣ ਓਵੈਚਕਿਨ ਨੇ ਛੱਡਤੀ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਓਵੈਚਕਿਨ ਮਾਰਨ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਹਾਕੀ ਚ ਵੱਜ ਕੇ ਪਾਰ ਚਲੀ ਗਈ ਪੱਕ ਉਧਰੋਂ ਓਵੈਚਕਿਨ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ.
They don't even say Ovechkin. They just say Vetchkin.
Huh.
Vetchkin. Ovechkin. You know, I heard something funny about that dude. I heard that they, I don't know, did I cover this in the show? I heard that his girlfriend wasn't sitting where she's supposed to be, and he went back and he wrecked the locker room, and they had to like show him where his girlfriend was. And then he was like, oh, okay, I'm okay. I guess.
No, I didn't hear that. I know they interview his girlfriend every once in a while.
Oh, do they really?
She's like some tennis player, I think.
Yeah. She doesn't look like she's in it for the money. I read the you know, it's funny. I probably was one of those articles I deleted right before I came on, or I screwed it up. And I just remember reading the article, and they were asking, well, how do you feel about hockey? No, no, I like when he plays, you know? I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah. I like when he plays because he buys me things.
Yeah. We don't know one way or another. But, yeah.
Come on. If he was Alex Ovechkin, the fucking heating and cooling guy, he would not have her.
She'd be all over that because he's beautiful.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful man.
I couldn't think. I know a lot of Russians that just do heating and cooling, so I just.
I know a lot of Russians over here that stand in the corner looking to kick somebody's ass.
Really?
Cold stares from that part of the crew. That reminds me of his story, and by no means is this. Oh fuck! I'll just tell the story. I'm not going to sit there and apologize for it. There was a girl that worked at the Rio Diner in Woodbridge, New Jersey, and she was a Russian girl. And I mean, even to this day, maybe one of the top 2 or 3 most beautiful, including in magazines, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Now, what we did is we used to go in there really late and order coffee to like fucking 4 in the morning and drive everybody crazy and make nobody any money. And most of the time, my friends left lousy fucking tips. And they had this Russian girl who she just didn't take shit from anybody, ever. Never took shit from anyone. And so what we did, instead of trying to like be nice to her, and because everybody wanted in her pants so bad, we decided to like tease her. Now, I was so intimidated by this chick, and she was such a she's really witty at replying. She really could tear you up. I just kept my mouth shut. So what happened after a while is she'd come to the thing, and she'd put my coffee cup down, and she'd fucking throw them like Tron deadly discs at my buddies while they would laugh, you know, because, you know, nobody could go up to her and say, hey, look, I think you're pretty, would you like to go down the shore? They just fucked with her instead because they were pussies in their own way. So, you know, was
my brother-in-law involved in this?
No, he wasn't. It was a little. I think it's a little before his time, but I think he heard the story. Yeah, it was a different group of guys. Well, anyway, what happened was I started being accused of being a teacher's pet because she would be nice and sweet to me. And they're like, hey, you fucker, do you think you're so cool? Why don't you ask her out? Oh, man, no way. Because I didn't want to fucking get that I was avoiding the whole humiliating thing that she's going to shoot me by and tell me how stupid and ugly I was and what have you. And I was just avoiding that situation. And then it was like, they were like, come on, it would be a riot. It would be a riot. Even if she tells you off, it would be funny. And then I was like, well, I'll always do something for a laugh. You know, that sounds cool. And I was like, you know, but I knew it was going to be painful, you know. I mean, I was playing jackass with my emotions, you know. So I walk up to this.
I'm Tommycallanan, and today I'm gonna fuck with my feelings.
Yeah. So I walk up to her real slow, and I was literally like a friggin' in 8th grade asking the girl to come from the other side of the gym so she could dance with me. I was that fucking nervous. And I was probably around 21 years old or 20 years old. Maybe just young enough before you could drink. And I walked up to her, and she turns around real fucking fast. And I said, you want to go to the movie? What? What'd you say? In that fucking hot-ass James Bond accent that I can't do, and I won't bother. And I was thinking maybe, like, if you weren't doing anything, do you want to go to a movie?
Did you run away giggling?
What? Everybody at the table's giggling. Everybody at the table's giggling. Absolutely everybody. So she looked at me. Her eyes got like really big. Those crystal blue eyes got really big. And she looks at me and she goes, "Yeah, why not? Have you seen Scream yet?" I was like, "No, I haven't seen Scream yet. I heard a lot of good things." And she goes, "You know what? Tomorrow night." Or tomorrow, 5 o'clock. That's what I have. Like I'm leaving now, but I get up tomorrow to be here at 9 o'clock, and then I have to do a shift till like 5. Just come in, and then we'll just arrange everything. So, it was like 2 days from now, right? 2 days from now, and then we'll go on a movie. And I'm like, you're kidding me. I just like, I almost said that too. I was like, yeah, sure. Now I got this fucking stunned look by my idiot friend's face. Their mouths are all open because they obviously have seen, like, well, she didn't slap me, drop coffee, yell at me, laugh at me, call the guy, the chef in the back to hack my arm off. None of that shit happened. So I like walked back to I walked back there like nothing. And then I just sat down and didn't say a word. I just think I drank coffee or lit a cigarette. You could smoke in those days. And they were like, what happened? I was like, well, she said yes. What do you think? And they're like, no shit. Oh, my God, you're the fucking Mac, dude. I can't believe it. That chick's such a bitch. And I'm like, wow, yeah. So you know what I did the next day? I drove down the shore, and I got a fucking tan. I bought new clothes. I was ready for this shit, man. I was ready. This is like the biggest movie. That movie could have sucked, and it probably did. I never saw it. So I go in, and there she is, and she had that really old-fashioned bun in her hair, with the type of bun that you put the two like pencils in, but they were like specially made pencils to stick in your hair. And she saw me, made eye contact with me, and I shit you not, like a fucking movie. And I tell you, time slowed down. I'm not joking around. She pulls the things out, right? And then releases the bun, and this blonde hair, I had no idea how long her hair was. It went right down to the crack of her ass, and it was like something. I'll talk to you in a minute. She comes back, she sits down, and I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening. And she grabs it. She goes, do you have a pen? And I said, yeah, I do. I don't know how I had a fucking pen. I never had a pen for 8 years in the Army. I handed her a pen, and she pulls a napkin, and she starts writing numbers, like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 100,000 up. And then she starts writing, like, the names of cars. Buick, Ford, Porsche, Mercedes, what have you. She goes, look, I do this with all my dates. But, you know, my parents came over here for a reason, and I'm not going to be in a situation that they were in where. So if you look at this level, and it was between like 20 and 40,000, this is unacceptable, right? This is unacceptable. I will only take like 60,000 and up. Up is obviously preferable. Now, if you cannot afford this, if your salary is not in this range, what I'll do is you can drive these cars, not these cars at the bottom, these cars in the center. These are acceptable, and of course, if you have a car like this is more than acceptable. And time and space stopped. I've never had, I didn't even know what to say. My mouth was probably open. I just said, I just want to go to the movie. And she looked at me and she goes, look, I already see this is kind of work out, but you really seem nice. I hope you see you again. And walked out the fucking door. I had to. I sat in that fucking thing for the next 3 hours, and I barely moved.
Everybody hurts. Sometimes.
I've never been so Russian. You know, I wish you would have just thrown coffee at me the night fucking before. That'd have been nice.
Oh my goodness! Were you going to buy a car? That's something that they do. Because, well, your credit was a little low.
Look, there is a stereotype that I wasn't familiar with, and I'm not saying all Russians are like this by any means. I haven't met enough, because the problem is I keep meeting women like her. Like, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm sure they're not all like that, but that's what I keep running into.
And she said, bitch, you're working in a diner.
Yeah, but that was the idea. I mean, she kind of explained that to me. I'm working in a diner now, but I'm not staying here, and I'll get out any way I can. And very forward. You know, she even said, like, some people think I'm a bitch, but I just think I'm wasting less people's time. And she was never, ever rude at any one time. It was so surreal. It was out of a goddamn movie. So when I hear about Alexander Ovechkin going to the Rush, well, I sort of like hockey. I just want to I don't know.
It's probably her. It's probably the waitress.
Well, shit. I'm 36. She was about my age. She's about ready to hit the wall. She probably got 6 fucking kids.
I'm sure that the numbers all went down in the Mellow making of the year car.
She moved back to Bensonhurst. If you no, they were from that beach area over in Brooklyn. Yeah, she moved back to Brooklyn, and I never heard from her again. She just up and moved back to Brooklyn. But it was one of the it was one of the most wild experiences I've ever had in my life. Hey, listen, big controversy out there. You know who Duncan Keith is?
Yeah, for the Hawks. Chicago, yeah, the Hawks.
Well, there's a whole shitload of problems. He was getting an interview by a female reporter, and I don't know. Maybe you can tell me if this is sexist. I don't think so. But go ahead. All right, sound effect. Let's do that.
Can you talk about what happened after the Daniel Sedin goal?
Which one was that one?
Third goal.
Third one? Well, we scored 1 goal after that, I think, and then
No, right
the
after
game ended
right
3-1.
after the goal when you were on the ice. Daniel.
What did he?
Right after he scored.
He scored. I went off the ice and took a minus. I don't know. What are you talking about?
Okay. Just checking.
What did you see?
Well, there would look like maybe there was a penalty that went undetected. You seemed a bit frustrated.
Oh no, I don't think there was. I think he scored a nice goal, and that's what the ref was right there. That's what the ref saw. We should get you as a ref, maybe, hey?
Yeah, maybe.
First
I can't skate, though.
first female referee. You can't play probably either, right?
No.
But you're thinking the game, like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see ya.
You may as well just sit down. Go make me a sandwich, sweetheart. All right.
Well,
this is a man's job. All right. You go back to just because you couldn't get a job for E! Network or something, and you have to cover sports.
So she supposedly, the way the story goes is because you hear at one point she goes, "Well, I don't skate," and then he goes on, "Yeah, you probably don't skate," and supposedly she had no problem with it. You know, had a fucking problem with it was all these fucking reporters can't wait to show how caring and liberal they are and how much they know about menstrual fucking cycles and shit that started to call him sexist. And it became kind of I guess, a problem. So I don't think the comment was sexist. I think she was busting balls, and we root on media getting their balls busted, male or female. But it doesn't end there because guess who had to chime in?
Tuesday night.
But I want to say something first of all, okay? Right. I want to say something first of all. My good buddy and a good friend of mine, Duncan Keith, is in a little trouble in Vancouver. And the reason was that he was smarty to a female reporter, and it just said something about you should be a referee or something, and the males, she didn't say anything, but the male reporters went a little nuts and everything like that. Now he's a sexist and all that stuff. I don't believe, and I really believe this, I don't believe women should be in the male dressing room. I know, wait a minute.
You can't see it, but McLean has this fucking epic face. He knows where this is going.
Well, I told you the story about Tracy's boss.
Yeah, I know.
Scott Stevens saying, "Do you like what you see?"
Yeah, reportedly, right, Jake?
Yeah, reportedly. That's
reportedly. And she said she thought she saw better, correct? Reportedly.
Yeah. This is all kind of speculation. I won't ever say where my wife works. Or...
Yeah, you heard from a friend.
Yeah, from a friend.
It's more than likely not true.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe it's not. All right, so McLean's got his head tilted to the side. It's probably the most epic face of the friggin' year. And Don Cherry, Rhodes Scholar, goes on.
Remember the first time it happened to me, guys are walking around naked, and I hear this woman's voice. I turn around, there's a woman. She's asking me about the power play. I said, let's go outside. And she says, I'm not embarrassed. I said, I am.
Well, can we, retaliate?
What do you say?
Well, I totally think a woman can be in the dressing room.
No.
But I do believe a lot of guys take advantage, and they are sexist. Duncan Keith wasn't even close.
Scott Stevens.
He was hot about the fact she was making a call, and he was saying,
wait a minute,
play,
you believe women should be...
Of course, Don. Like in any job, equal opportunity.
Well, in equal opportunity, then why aren't men in women dressing room?
Well, they should be.
Horseshit. They shouldn't be. Absolutely, they shouldn't be. But you have to say that so you don't sound like a complete hypocritical asshole.
Oh my God! You know how many people be signing up for that job?
Yeah. Look, guys are taking advantage of it. I'm sure NHL players are taking advantage of it. I'm sure a lot of guys are taking advantage of it. You know, it's ridiculous. It's fucking stupid. And I got to be perfectly honest with you. If I was a professional athlete, I don't know. If I was, pulling my cock out of the cup I've been wearing for the fucking past 2 hours, I'd want them to see it. Mostly because I don't want anybody telling how big or small it is. I fucking would piss me off. But, I mean, seriously. I mean, it's such an outrageous thing. So what you have to do is we all have to pretend that this doesn't make anybody uncomfortable. Jerry's got the balls to point it out. He's not putting it eloquently. I guess either did I. But, I mean, he's stating an opinion.
We'll fix that.
You want them to be in there?
Why not?
Well, listen, Carrie plays hockey, right?
Yes.
And she's a hockey player.
Why not? Because women tend, for understandably, because men are fucking pigs, they don't want their tits getting stared at when they're taking showers, commenting on how they fucking won the third set. It's fucking logical. And the reason I'm getting so upset of this because these guys at fucking Puck Daddy pissed me off. I'm going to let Sherry finish.
Yes.
And she's in taking a shower, right? And a guy standing there, she walks
Well,
on.
the showers, as you know. But
whoa,
look,
and women play in those small arenas.
you can create a nice code of cutoffs.
Wait a minute.
If they're going to cover Gary's games, I have a problem.
Well,
but, at the Caston Campbell Pascal's dressing room, wide open.
Wait. You mean a woman? You want men in the dressing room with women?
There should be, of course.
Well, they're not.
Crazy here, but
But they're not.
Let's just agree that as long as there's a professional code, and I think the players violate it all the time.
Well,
guys,
that's not the point is. The point is, and you won't answer the question, Mr. McLean, whether they belong there or not, or it doesn't make certain people uncomfortable, whether it's appropriate. We do have separate bathroom stalls and women's. If we lived in a world where there was no such thing as a men's and women's locker room, this probably wouldn't be a question, and Cherry would be fucking totally out of line. But the fact of the matter is, we do. We do for cultural reasons. And if you're gonna fucking pretend they don't exist, then you're being intellectually dishonest. That's not what bothered me about that story. What bothered me is something I read. Now, here's the issue. The problem with women not being in the locker rooms is because their men counterparts do have an unfair advantage as far as getting quotes for stuff like that. I get that. And I do believe that women should be allowed to be sports reporters. Let's just make that clear. But I also believe that hockey players are entitled to their privacy. And I also know that certain hockey players are religious, and things like that are unacceptable for the personal beliefs and religious beliefs and what have you. So that also should be respected. I also am pretty fucking sure that there isn't a female athlete in the planet that wants some dork like Larry Brooks poking their fucking weird pedophile head looking around. Now, these
how creepy would that be?
Larry Brooks is looking at you. Larry Brooks looks like he got picked up. I wouldn't want that. I'm not saying he's a pedophile. I'm saying he might represent. You know what? If there was a movie for a pedophile, Larry Brooks would be perfect. But I just this is what really fucking aggravates me. Let me read a little quote where this guy Harrison Mooney, who's really becoming my the bane of my existence, at least in this stupid shot from the point world. Harrison Mooney. Here's what Harrison blew me. That's who he is. So Harrison Bloomy comes on, and he says this. Look, this is a stupid thing for Cherry to say, and an equally stupid thing for him to believe. So he's flat out wrong, and doesn't even seem worth the time or effort to offer a rebuttal. Ask me again 20 years ago. Ha, 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 aren't you fucking funny? Here's the thing. Here's the real reason Harrison blew me, and you did blew me. You could blow me anytime you like. Here's the reason you said that. It's not because of what Cherry said is so freaking stupid. Admittingly, it wasn't eloquent. But it's not. It's because you don't fucking have an answer. And you hate guys like Don Cherry. Mm-hmm. You hate guys like Don Cherry. Don Cherry doesn't fucking live in a world where he says, is this too sexist or is this too racist or is this too... Because he's not a fucking slave to, think. And you guys...
He's from 1934. He was born in 1934.
He's 80 years old, yeah.
Yeah, he has a complete different way of thinking than you or I or anyone, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But I got to be honest with you, I don't know if I disagree with him, and I'm 36. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of reasons. And I acknowledge the fact that it's unfair for female reporters. And I don't understand why the solution to the fucking problem is nobody gets in there until their fucking clothes are on. Why is that so fucking difficult? Because you get all the best quotes when their cock's hanging out. Yeah, I'm sure. They probably want you to get away.
I won't lie, if Pierre McGuire went to the locker room, I'd be a little bit...
No shit!
I'd be a little bit scared.
Do you think you think Cammy Canado wants him hanging around? Asking his ridiculous fucking questions? So why is it so Neanderthalic to say something like that? Why are you a Neanderthal if you say, you know what, I'm uncomfortable being naked around strange women other than my wife or my girlfriend or just in general? I am too.
Well, when I did Rocky Horror, we had a changing theater.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was like unisex?
No, we didn't have. No one had sex.
No, unisex, theater. As far as both sexes got changed at the same time.
Yeah, I thought you said we were having sex.
No, I'm sure you were.
Not to my knowledge.
I'm sure somebody got itchy in the pants a week later.
But, I mean, girls would just walk in. I remember my first time, I walked in to get, ready and get stuff, and I walked in, and my friend Beth was getting changed. I was like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry, and I walked out, and she was like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean,
I'm not
I used to make a joke. I used to just walk in the back. I go, yo, is this the theater where they keep all the naked bitches? It became like a big running joke.
Really what I'm talking about, man, is, look, I know there's very liberal people about stuff like that. It's a little different here in Europe and what have you. But not everybody's like that. And instead of just saying, being open-minded doesn't necessarily mean everybody has to think that it's okay for women to be in front of men when they're getting changes or vice versa. That is not open-minded. Open-minded is something like this, Harrison Blumey. It's something like this. You look at the reasons why it could make somebody uncomfortable, and you agree or disagree, but tolerate that opinion. And then you also look at the other side. The crabs having Rocky Horror guys that get changed in the same room. You look at them both. You look at them both. And not act like and you know what, Harrison, you don't have a fucking response. You don't have a response. And I tell you something. This was a controversy we talked about it a few weeks ago on the phone. This is a controversy 20 years ago. I remember listening to it on Imus. And somebody waved their willy at a girl, and it was like, oh, it's so horrible, they waved their willy at somebody. This is terrible. And I forget, some coach said, okay, no more females in the locker room, and he was shortly disciplined and fined by the NFL. It is not an unusual, strange opinion. And let me tell you something. What's his name, McLean? He wasn't leaning his head because he disagreed with Cherry. He was leaning his head because he was worried that Cherry was going to give his liberal enemies in Canada enough ammunition to finally take him out. And let me tell you, Mr. McLean probably makes a little extra cash sitting next to Don Cherry. And the CBC has been looking for ways to get rid of Cherry. This is probably not enough. He said worse than this. And I'm not saying everything Don Cherry says is fucking brilliant. I'm not saying he's a good representative for, center-right or right-wing politics in Canada. But he's entitled to his opinion, and more people connect with it than don't. Only Harrison Blumey doesn't. Because Harrison Blumey lives in like-think land. Harrison Mooney thinks that people that don't think like him are bad people. And look, Jerry didn't say that the Ku Klux Klan and the Nazis had it right. He said that he wasn't comfortable and he didn't think it was right for women to be in the same locker room, a cultural norm that's been going on for fucking hundreds of years. So I would say if he said some kind of Nazi thing, you might have a point. It's not worth responding to. That's pretty stupid. But he didn't. And you don't have a response because you're fucking stupid and you're a light thinker. I'm done.
This rant was brought to you by...
You enjoying yourself?
Just when you get on your things, it's like, what's people talking about on Facebook? just start reading things. Man, all right.
Hey, it's my show. Do your job and laugh.
It's just I listen to you. I'm like, all right, here we go. Let them get it out.
All right, look. I'm an open-minded person. Where am I off here?
No, you're not.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure there's some guy out there that's smart, and I'm not saying you're stupid, but I mean, smart could probably give me an argument. Maybe I am wrong, but I consider that a possibility, and I wouldn't sit there and be so arrogant to say, oh, well, I'm not going to respond to him because of whatever. Harrison Blumey. I'm sure he wants to I'm sure he rants about stage fights and fucking wants to, have everybody wearing tampons when they go out to the ice. See, I'm going to make it my life mission, Jake, as long as I'm doing this show, is I'm going to pick on these bully reporters. They pick on the athletes, and I'm going to pick on them. Because they got picked last in gym, and this is their only way to compensate for their small cocks. That's really what it comes down to.
We got picked last after them, and we have smaller cocks, so we're gonna make fun of them.
So I'll pick on these guys.
They getting paid. We're just
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. I'm gonna point out what phonies these guys are. And let me ask you something, Harrison. Being so in touch with women, has it got you laid anymore? Are you an ugly fucking hockey writer? Have you got any more ass out of that? Has it ever worked for you? Pretending you're sensitive? No, the girl you want's fucking Ilya Bryzgalov. And that's what drives you crazy.
Ilya Bryzgalov's cock is humongous big.
I keep on forgetting to isolate that clip. I really have to. All right. Hey, listen, folks, it's going to be a little long today. This is the playoff edition. So.
That's right.
And,
strap in, folks.
Strap in.
Only a few more weeks left.
Hey, we're going to shoot for the hour, but if it goes over, and I mean, we have just a ton of stuff to cover, so what have you. This may be the last one. Ilya Bryzgalov went to go clean up his locker over in Voorhees, New Jersey, and the media was there to fucking, do what they do and try to get a funny quote out of him by agitating the shit out of him and hoping he says something about the fucking universe or what have you. The unfortunate thing is, poor Ilya had a lousy season, as the rest of the Flyers did. It wasn't just his fault. And he decided to give it back to them. And I want to listen closely, Jake, and I'll translate if you don't get anything. Don't be afraid to ask, because it's tough to get through his accent. But I was really impressed by what he had to say.
Briz, really people tend to blame you, right or wrong. Do you take that personally when they do that?
Not anymore. Yeah, not anymore. You're just guys here to blame to someone, but you never look yourself in the mirror, huh? You're always good. You never make the mistakes. Yeah, your article's always perfect. But in reality, what have you done for the city? If you ask yourself, what have you done it? Ask your that question. Besides to only criticize. Well, not much.
Suppose there are...
Oh. Look, I don't know what Ilya Bryzgalov did for that city, but he is 100% correct.
Yeah.
He is 100% correct. And these guys are there because they know that Bryzgalov has the same disability that Don Cherry has. He thinks it's okay to speak his mind. And he does it in a language that's not his own, that is the second or third language, God knows. And sometimes he comes off as a little foolish. Cherry's got no real excuse because it's his first language, but hey. And he's 100% correct. That's all they're there for. They're there to make him say something dumb or hope. And they even ask roundabout questions. Roundabout questions. And they think it's so funny that a guy, and I think it's funny too, but I don't hate Ilya, might show an interest in something that educational. Oh, that's just for reporters. That's why it's so funny. What does this dumb jock think he's doing talking about the fucking universe? So they're there looking for ways to criticize, hoping he blasts off, hoping he screws up. What contributors to our society? And he got them. Absolutely nothing.
I think these reporters are going to start going to him just to get these beautiful sound bites that he leaves, you know? And you know what? He does not sound happy.
No, you could
to be playing in Philly. I think he cannot get out of there any sooner.
Yeah. No,
he just seems like he seems like he'd rather be playing in Phoenix.
He may be playing the KHL next year, buddy.
He has to pay him a lot of money. There's a meme out there that's Ilya Bryzgalov, and it says, "Oh yeah, Philadelphia is a very good city for goaltenders. No pressure for a Philadelphia goaltender. Said no goalie ever."
Yeah, I had that once in Texel. Not a really strong one. Actually, he was probably the strongest one they brought in.
And he wasn't. You know what? Hextall's a good puck controller.
Yeah.
I don't think Hextall was that good.
He's Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame, but as far as like toward the end of his career, he just seemed like he was. I don't know. Did he start with Philly?
Yeah, I think so. Or he may have got traded. The rights got traded, but he was shaky at times. And he never seemed the same after the first time Philly traded him. He never really seemed the same.
It's just something like about like how he, just something about like in like the early like the mid '90s, like
No, I
didn't see him as like an elite goalie. Like I didn't put him on the same level as like
I mean they did send him to
or even Andy Moog.
They did. Oh, that's a good point. They did send him to Quebec. That couldn't have helped. And then he went to the island after that. That couldn't have helped. If you remember, the team the Rangers cut through was the Islanders. The first round of the playoffs swept them. Hextall was the receiver of that fucking lashing.
And I know Hextall went to a finals against crap. I can't even remember who was he.
He wasn't
Detroit.
Was he? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, he was in goal with the Lindros. Yeah, because he's back in Philly. All right, hey, listen. Let's get back on Ilya because he's got a lot more interesting shit to say.
People that didn't criticize.
Need to be fair. And need to see the whole picture. It's easy to criticize, like it's tough to find something good.
I find nothing good with Harrison Blumey.
Sometimes I only can compare. It's not like fair or not fair.
Hey, that was easy. Harrison, you suck. Hey, you try it, Jake.
Harrison, you suck.
Can't roll right off your lips.
It's sometimes I already we had that conversation. It's just ridiculous, Sometimes you're reading and it's like, oh my God, who is this lunatics? What they're writing about? Because it was nothing close to the truth or be close to the related to hockey, and it's just you read this and like, oh my God, and I gotta deal with these people every day. Like I said before, guys, before you're writing something, you gotta read what you're writing.
See, this is where you're a little naive, Ilya. They don't care. They're trying to sell papers. It's not about reporting the truth. They'll tell you that. Like the Boston Bombers told people they weren't stereotypical Muslims. They'll tell you that, but they're trying to sell papers. So that's a pipe fucking dream, Ilya.
Because I never saw it, I'm 2 years here, I never saw it, for 2 years, good article with the, what is it, everything, okay, Flyers lose the game because this. They need to improve the...
That's because they don't know anything about hockey, and they got put there, and they'd rather be covering the Phillies or the Eagles.
Game, this, or this, and never. That's what's to call professionalism, That's you can say, okay, this reporter knows hockey. He knows what he's talking about.
You read every article, Briz?
Oh, a lot.
Stop.
We have some clips, in the locker room pretty much every day.
Bad idea.
You don't see...
I read a lot, I read a lot, believe me.
Do you feel like you've been a professional here since you...
Did you hear that?
What the guy in the back saying, do you feel like you're a professional?
Let me rewind that sucker.
A lot, believe me.
Do you feel like you've been a professional here since you've been here?
I'm here every day. I work very hard.
By the way, that got him. He turned around and he looked this guy right in the fucking eyes.
Hard. Every game, every day, every practice. Other thing, maybe result is not as was expected, but I sweat a lot here. And bleed a lot. Besides,
what kind of question was that to ask him?
That was, I don't know.
That was
of course he does.
Of course he's a professional. Mm-hmm. You think you've been professional here? That was designed to get him flipped because they probably thought that he really looks miserable. And if he looked. I'm sure a punch came through his mind because he turned right around and looked at this guy. Let me tell you something. This guy is not small, and I think they were hoping that he'd lose it, and I think he dealt with it about as best he could. He sweats like you have no idea what it's like to be a part of a team. You have no idea what it's like to sacrifice. You have none. You don't. That's why you could come up with a question that's stupid if you weren't just trying to get this guy to give you a multi-million-dollar lawsuit settlement.
Yeah. And you know what? And it's right there. Obviously, these guys aren't hockey fans.
No.
Because the Flyers have one of the weakest defenses.
Yeah.
In the game, you know?
Yeah, sure. There's no way.
Claude Giroux didn't even show up this year.
No. Where was he after the playoffs he had? The whole team sucked except for Simmons.
Yeah. And I have to say Bryzgalov, too. I mean, you know.
His numbers weren't bad early on in the season.
But and you know what? And his numbers, like, I don't know. I have to look up his goals against average.
Yeah.
But because that's how you can determine, if a goalie had a good year or not. Wins and losses doesn't really determine that.
Wins and losses mean you have a good team around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And even his the goals against average could be,
Yeah.
He's probably getting, peppered with shots.
Sure.
So
hey, look, I'm not going to defend his play. I'm sure we could, analyze every rotten goal. I've seen the guy play awful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've seen it. But I would never have the balls to say something. I'm sure he works as hard as everybody. I'm sure he works his ass off. But I can't fucking imagine. And if he turned around and he punched that fucking guy in the mouth, I would enjoy the article by Harrison Moody, how outraged he was. I wouldn't be outraged. I'd be laughing like a little fucking girl. Because you know what? I'm not saying he should have punched him, but there's a fucking line. And sometimes you ask for it, and I think that guy was fucking asking for it. I wouldn't have defended his action, but I would have understood it. Jackass. Yeah. So I'm going to point these fuckers out whenever I get the chance. And most of these guys, like you said, Jake, they don't like hockey.
No.
No.
Just what they got stuck on, and that's what they're doing.
They don't even like it. They like sport. They might not even like sports. And they really hate athletes. And athletes aren't perfect. And they don't always deserve defending. And I don't think there's anything wrong with goofing on them from time to time. But there's a line. Because I guarantee, I got shocking information for all you fuckers that say, they make too much money. They work harder in a week than you do in a year. And I don't care if you're a fucking plumber. Unless you're a goddamn ditch digger, unless you're a coal miner, you don't work as hard as they do, I promise. You don't even work as hard as a freaking army soldier for the most part. You don't. You don't get up, you don't fucking run 2 miles a day, you don't do anything.
You know what? It's funny. I was talking to one guy I work with. He's older. He's like in his 50s. He's not a big sports fan.
Yeah.
I was talking to my boss. My boss is a big. He's a little bit older than me, but he's a big sports fan. And like, we're talking about the just athletes, and it's like, there's a reason why these guys get paid this much amount of money, because they're just they're putting their bodies on the line. And he just kind of like looked at me, the other guy I work with. He goes, please, they're playing a game. I go, they're playing a game on a level that is completely inconceivable to you or I.
Well, in fairness, like, I don't, the thing that gets me is, I understand that if you're ignorance not necessarily make you a bad person. Maybe your boss really didn't understand. I don't understand from the guys.
No, my boss understands. This is the guy I work with.
Yeah, well, the guy he simply doesn't understand.
Yeah.
If you guys got a conversation about quantum physics, I'm sorry, I'm fucking lost. And I might have a really dopey opinion about it.
Yeah.
Does that mean you get to jump from time to time and fix things? I was suffered through a Quantum Leap episode today. Hey, we're running late, but it don't matter. This is a special. I decided this is the special playoff edition.
That's right.
And for the news, We're going to go over our picks. We're going to talk about the game and a few articles in the NHL. Let's get it started. Are you psyched up about this?
I guess.
Now we get to the meat of hockey.
Second season.
What would make you unexcited about this? I mean, this is fantastic. It's the playoffs.
Yeah, whatever.
It's the playoffs. Yeah.
You know there's something missing.
Missing. I don't know. It looks like all 16 teams are ready.
It's like Dick Clark without New Year's. It's like New Year's without Dick Clark.
Yeah, that's true. God, I hate this browser. It always does this to me. I'm sorry. Hold on. You know, I especially like the guitar solo part. I always play along, you know? It's the best part.
What a faggy goal horn.
That's the best goal horn.
No, it's not.
I can't remember what they played before that. Because they didn't have that during 94. I think it came in like right afterwards. Whoa! It's pretty gay, you're right.
Let's go Rangers! Well, the Devils is it's the hey, and then it
you
goes.
Suck.
Yeah, we point to the goalies who you suck.
Hey, no class, Jersey.
That's right, we got class.
I know. Actually, I get a big kick out of the hey, you suck chant because I know the NHL's embarrassed about it. And Jersey people are just living there.
They tried to change it. I think that for a while they had some other song. It was that, oh, and then they went back to the, hey, you suck.
I can be honest, I kind of like it. Hey, you suck.
Because it's funny because you watch the goalie and you can tell like he's kind of like upset like after he gives up a goal. But it's even more funny when like the Devils are losing like 5-0 and they score a goal and then they're playing the song and everyone's still singing it. You're like
Well, you know the Dennis Potvin legend in the Rangers. Are you familiar with that?
I know the Potvin sucks. That
yeah. Well, they used to have the dun 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 dun, and they stopped doing it. Like I guess 30 years ago.
We still do it. The Rangers suck.
Yeah, but we don't have somebody. I don't know if you notice this, but if you go to the Garden, somebody has to whistle it for it to happen because they don't play it as a part of their thing. It's artificial. So if you listen to closely to Ranger games, sometimes you'll hear somebody going. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's how they have to do it at the Devils games now.
Oh, they do it because they can't do the thing. But they have been a bigger nightmare. It hasn't been a big nightmare since they started throwing rats in Florida. Jesus.
Hockey's weird. Now it has something to do with the old stadium or something, right? It was like their old stadium was like infested with rats. Where the Panthers played?
It was Mullenby. There was a rat ran on the ice and he fucking slapped in the net or some shit. So they started calling him Ratso. That was a nightmare. I tell you, Florida won games because of that stupid rat thing. It's one of the reasons they're in the final. All right, picks. First one. Let me turn to my pick page. Here we go. Here's the paper. There we go. There we go. And I'll do Andy's picks too. And if you get him in by Tuesday, you'll be playing the game. And we'll do updates.
We didn't get a chance to get Tracy's in.
All right, first one. Oh, you want to put Tracy's in? Is Tracy playing?
I don't know. I'll ask her.
Well, she's got till fucking tomorrow whenever the first game starts.
I told her I'll go over it tonight.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Vinny's playing too. He sent me shit, and I think his little buddies are playing too. Supposedly.
Awesome.
I bet they'll send it to be a week fucking late and wonder why they didn't win. But that being said, the first one in the Western Conference, the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Minnesota Wild. Jake, what do you got?
I have Chicago going in 6.
Why 6?
I just have a feeling Minnesota's going to play them tough. They have Minnesota. They had to kind of be hot at the end of the season, and that's always scary. So, but
did you watch any of those games that Minnesota played going to the end?
Huh?
Did you watch any of those games going into the end?
Not really. I mean, obviously, it went on. I looked up the scores and stuff.
Yeah.
But I know that they had to. Was it them or it was Detroit that had to win the last 4?
No, it was actually.
Was it Minnesota or was it Detroit that had to win?
No,
the
you're
last
thinking
4?
of Columbus. Columbus had to win, but the problem is they had tiebreakers with Minnesota. Minnesota just snuck in there by hair's ass.
That's all you need, and I just have a feel. Chicago started off very strong in this season, and I think kind of. They stayed consistently good.
Yeah.
Throughout, but I think Chicago in 6.
I've got a weird feeling about Chicago too. I think they're going to have a nerve game, and I got Chicago in 5.
Okay.
They got. I think they're going to have a nerve. I think they're going to lose the first one, and I think they're going to blow them out afterwards. That's my prediction with this. And I tell you something. If I didn't think they were going to have a nerve game and something, because I think the most pressure's on them. They have the President's Trophy, the most pressure, and that means a lot. And sometimes you get friggin' tied up with teams you're not supposed to in early rounds. I'm going to give Chicago the benefit of the doubt. I think they're going to finish them off in 5, and they're probably going to win up 4 straight. But they're probably going to drop the first one just out of pure nerves. Now I'm thinking about that. A lot of these guys have been in the Stanley Cup Final before. This is going to be a rout, though. This series is going to be a rout. I watched Minnesota's last 2 games. They're awful, and they don't play well under pressure.
I didn't watch them.
No, I did. I get to watch them. They don't play real well under pressure, from what I can see. I was very unimpressed.
Okay, and I remember watching one, not watching, but looking at the things. And I was like, damn, they lost.
That Edmonton game was a joke. They didn't show up and they gave up. So you think, let me tell you something. Saying Chicago in 5 is really giving them a gift. And I just got a sneaking suspicion, sort of like you, that Chicago's going to blow it. But they're going to, and I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if they got in a long one with these guys, but they don't.
I wouldn't be shocked if Minnesota just said, "All right, yeah, we're knocking out Chicago," and it happened.
I don't know. I don't think the team's got that kind of heart, but I could be wrong. Next one, Western Conference, the Blues versus Los Angeles. I found this would be one of the more difficult picks. What did you have?
I have the Kings in 4.
You have them straight, huh?
Yeah.
Why? You just think they're just going to do what they did last year?
They impressed. They got hot. They got, what are they? They finished in the 4 seed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they finished in the 4 seed,
got hot,
and I don't know. I'm not sold on the Blues. The Blues has kind of been up and down all season.
Yeah, even with the upgrade, it really didn't have a dramatic impact. I thought. I mean, admittedly, I did not watch a lot of games, but it's not like the Blues were screaming out the headlines. It's not like they captured my attention after the Bowmeister trade.
The Kings still have that. They have the best goalie in the league right now.
Yeah. No, they got a really good goalie and what have you, but I don't think it doesn't take away from their kind of up and down season. I have the Kings in 6. I think this is actually going to be a very good series. It's going to go 6 games, but I think it might be one of those things that who plays worst, loses. I think it's just going to be a wild, maybe a lot of fights type of series. Not impressed.
You know what? The reason I have Kings in 4 is just because that team didn't really break up from last year.
No, they didn't, and they know how to win. But I think they're going to run into a similar situation that Boston did. It's just not that easy. They're gunning for the Stanley Cup champions. They're gunning. No, that's pretty much what I'm going on. Got Kings in 6. Ducks and Red Wings. What you got?
I have Ducks in 6.
You have Ducks in 6?
Yep.
Why? Because they're new?
I feel. I mean, I could be wrong about that. This is the.
Oh, we all could be wrong about it, Jake. Shit. I mean, we're fucking making predictions.
This is actually the series that kind of kept me up. I kept on writing in. I kept on writing in Detroit. I kept on writing in Ducks. I kept on writing in Detroit because Detroit has firepower, experience.
Yeah,
has experience, and Detroit also has. But so does it's one player when you think about it. But with Solani, think about the Ducks have experience too. But
sure.
I think
and they're a younger team. This is a much different Ducks team than the 2007 one. I mean, this is a dramatically different young rebuilt team that was really kind of ignored because of Pittsburgh's and Chicago's kind of crazy season.
And maybe I don't know. It just seems like I think it's all gonna Detroit had to fight for these last few spots. And maybe they're tired. They might be tired. They might be done. Just because they haven't really had that season. And,
I got to be honest with you. I've got Ducks in 4.
Really?
I'm going to blow them out the water. And this is the first thing I felt, and I just kind of stuck with it. I would not be surprised if the Ducks get themselves. They will beat Detroit, but they're going to. I would not be surprised if they got themselves in like a Game 6 or something like that, just because the experience of their team and what have you. But I have not been impressed at all with Detroit this year. The Lidstrom factor is a lot bigger than I would have ever anticipated. Datsuk's got some of the. I mean, his hands are so filthy, they're like a Romanian horse. I mean, it's just something. But you know what? He really wasn't busting any headlines this year. So I'm not really sold in Detroit. I don't like the way they played against Chicago all year. I don't think they got the heart, and I think the Ducks are every bit as good as Chicago. So I think they're going to blow them out the fucking water, barring rookie nerfs. So I think they're going to blow them out of the water. I found this one hard too. Apparently, the Canucks are going to go diving with the Sharks. What did you have?
That one I have Sharks in 5.
You got Sharks in 5?
I think the Sharks have always been that team that makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they just don't.
They're annoying.
They always seem like they're like a step away from becoming a dominant team.
Yeah.
And they just never do it. And
they're always using a thorn in somebody's side.
The goaltending situation is very shaky right now.
Yeah.
And we all know Luongo and Corey Schneider.
Sure.
Is,
Schneider's
they're not
still hurt?
under pressure.
Schneider's still hurt?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
But Luongo's not good under pressure.
I have absolutely no faith in the Vancouver. So if they lack heart, they're one of the more talented teams in the league that's done nothing. They remind me of the early 90s or mid-90s Atlanta Braves in baseball. This team probably should have won cups already. They show no heart, and they don't get any results for it. And they're the type of teams that the type of hockey, the new hockey fans that are coming in like. And that's why I don't like them. And I think they are going to defeat the Sharks, but they're going to go 7, and it's going to take a lot out of them, and they're going to get freaking crushed in the next round.
You and I are going,
I'm wondering if the Ducks are going. Oh, actually, I haven't even picked my last 2. So that's the Western Conference. Islanders, Penguins. What do you got?
Where's that? I had Penguins in 5.
You have Penguins in 5, which is completely reasonable. I tell you something. I more so than Chicago. There's going to be one upset, and I noticed most of our picks. I thought about going Islanders in 7 here, or 6, and that sounds really crazy because of the kind of season they have. But I first of all, I've been right about the Islanders most of the season, and they're a lot better than a lot of hockey experts gave them credit for. And they have one of the best players in the league with John Tavares.
They're not there yet. Not there yet.
But they are building something.
They are building something. They made the playoffs.
Sure.
That they overshot their expectations for the year.
No, absolutely.
I remember goofing on them in that first game of the season.
Yeah.
Just because they're the Islanders and they got a bunch of these players that they just picked up off waivers and they didn't play any time together, but they did make the playoffs and they were a hot team.
They worked hard, and they also have one of the more underrated players in the league. Because this guy is every bit as good as some of the top players we have.
They also have one of the hottest goalies right now,
and
besides Jonathan Quick.
I hate to friggin' brag, but I said early on, I think it was episode 3, that I liked Nabokov and I liked the way he was playing. His stats were good, and I think this team works really, really hard and has a lot of heart. It is unfortunate they don't seem to have that hate towards the Rangers that they've had in years past. And more than likely we're not going to see him. I think the Islanders are going to give the Pittsburgh Penguins hell, make them nervous, but I think they're going to come out in 7. I got Pittsburgh in 7, but I think that's probably going to be the most talked about series in it's going to be the most talked about series in the entire this is the first round of the playoffs.
I'm thinking Penguins in 5.
Penguins are just going to blow out the door.
You
think they're going to take a game off them? I originally had Penguins in 5. I just had this is you got to pick one upset, and that's what I'm going with. This is going to be the one that's going to be like close, and I think it's going to take enough out of the Penguins for the Bruins to crush them in the next round. So, speaking of the Bruins, Toronto Maple Leafs and Boston Bruins.
I had Boston in 4.
Yeah, I was wondering. I almost went. Yes, so do I. Because it would just be absolutely hysterical. You know, I was reading the other day that the Leafs never played a game in HD.
I saw that.
And I just think, they're in. Leafs aren't that damn good. They're not that fucking good. I'm very happy for them to make the playoffs. I think it's good for the league. They're just not that good. And I think, what's his name? Kasim? What the hell is his name? The Arab-looking guy. Oh, I can't forget his fucking name. Boy, I sound like a moron right now.
Job?
No, not that guy. The one Cherry loves. Like him, too.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think that team's got it.
No,
I think
they're the same boat
they're
as
the
them.
perfect
They're the same-
team. They're going to be brought down to earth. The Bruins are going to bring them down to earth.
Yeah.
They're just going to destroy them. They're just going to destroy them. But I tell you, if they even win one game, that city's going to go nuts. They're going to get destroyed. Habs versus Ottawa. I'm pretty sure I know what this is going to be.
I have Habs in 7.
Why? Look, a team does not go 7 in the first round and go on to win the Stanley Cup, buddy.
It's a different year.
Really? You don't. The Rangers found this last year. You can't have Game 7 after Game 7 after Game 7, which we probably might have. You know, can't have Game 7 after Game 7.
I have Habs because Ottawa's a good young
dangerous team.
You know, dangerous. They have a good goaltending. They have Corey Conacher, kidney boy, and Carlson's back. He's coming. Yeah,
which
Carlson's
is bizarre.
back.
We didn't touch about that. That's something we're going to touch about when we get later in the news, because I just find that unbelievably weird. I'm changing my pick here. I think the Habs are in the shock of their life. I think Ottawa is going to give them the hell, and they're going to take them in 7.
You think Ottawa's going to take it 7?
I'm going Ottawa in 7.
Ottawa in 7.
Ottawa in 7. Yeah, it just kind of came over me. I had Montreal in 5, but I think, I know that one team is there, that one game is there, and I think you get a situation where we're also going to say, well, Pittsburgh's on the verge of elimination going into Game 7, and lo and behold, the Montreal Canadiens, who are expected to have a great run in the Stanley Cup, will find themselves in a Game 7 versus Ottawa. That's what I'm predicting. So, in the first round. So, that's really where we're at. Oh, I love this song. As if I didn't know. What is your pick for the final series? Are you still with me?
I have Caps in 6. That might be just a go fuck yourself, Tommy pick, though.
Did you just change it now?
No. I have the Caps in 6.
Caps in 6. Boy, we really are in overtime. It's an hour and 13 minutes. I have Caps in 5.
Well, I actually give him more of a shot.
Yeah. Here's my thing, and it's I kept asking myself, am I saying Caps in 5 because first of all, Andy originally said Caps in 5, okay, and then I'm like, well, I'll just change it. I'll just go the Rangers, and I had this weird fucking thing. Like I'm trying to eliminate superstition from my life, all superstition. So I'm like, well, if I don't vote for the Rangers, then the Rangers won't win, and you have to. No, you don't. You don't have to believe they're going to win or they're going to lose, whether you believe them or not. Or how hard you cheer, or whatever fucking, you tie your dick in a knot on Sunday. I'm trying to remove superstition, Mike. But then I thought to myself, well, am I just saying that for the show so I sound like I'm not biased? And I went back and forth. Am I just saying it to sound not biased, or do I really believe this?
I thought about the same thing.
Yeah.
But as hot as the Caps got,
yeah,
to just get on this run,
there is no reason to believe they're going to shut down. It would be shocking. Shocking. That team's playing spectacular. That player is one of the best players to ever lace up skates, and he's hot as friggin' pistol right now.
And you know what? Before the season started and when they solved everything, I remember talking to somebody. I go, the Caps are going to be a scary good team.
Yeah,
they are. Before the first week, and I chose the Habs. I actually had the Caps be preseason.
It is
before but then they got on that run and made me look like an idiot for a little bit.
Stop. I can't imagine them not coming out and just destroying the Rangers. The Rangers haven't gelled yet. The Caps did. Now, they are in a weaker division. News. What's that?
Just got some breaking news. The Colorado Avalanche have won the NHL 13 lottery.
Is that really breaking news?
Yeah.
Very good. That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's good stuff. I'm like super proud of you. That was like really relevant. It wasn't like the fucking Honey Badgers won anything or something.
No, it came on my Game Center app.
Good job.
Back to you guys.
Yeah.
That's right. Boom. Excellence in broadcasting.
Yeah. Well, what the fuck was I saying about the Rangers? I don't think this. The problem with the Rangers is that they haven't gelled. They showed some signs after the trade. I don't believe in magic. I don't think that's going to come out. But it's not impossible because it is hockey, and hockey is just like really weird. That's why people like it. As I'm quoting Ilya Bryzgalov directly. That's why people like it, because it's so unpredictable. And yeah, the Rangers could get it together all of a sudden magically. We saw it happen with the Kings and what have you. The problem is the Rangers have never gelled. They've never adjusted to the type of team they're going to be under Rick Nash. And this team is fundamentally the same team that you've seen last year. I'm sure they have some bad blood with the Rangers. I'm sure they remember it. What better way to say when they said their star was faded and this team was done and Brandon Holtby maybe is not what we thought he was, to come out and beat the New York Rangers. They are gonna blow the Rangers out the fucking door. And if they steal a game, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a full-scale blowout resulting in John Tortorella's firing. There you go. What else? You got anything on this subject?
Did you hear about the Islanders and the Rangers game 6 and 7 are going to be back to back?
The Islanders and the Rangers?
If it goes to game 6 and 7,
yeah,
their two respected series are going to be 2 games back to back, like day to day, like one.
That's because of the fucking lockout, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be crazy.
I like it. This fucking playoffs.
You like gladiators,
huh?
You like gladiators.
That's
you want
right.
them to die for their team.
Uh-huh.
You're a terrible person. Oh! Not enough of this for Jake. Oh, it's a broken leg. Get up!
Stop being such a crank.
Get up. Right, Joe? Step! Yeah. I really got to get Joe on it. We I'm thinking about, like, especially if the Bruins go deep, I really want to have Joe on the show. Would you share your point with him? My point man friend?
Of course.
I know you would.
Yes.
I know you would. I think it might be fun.
My team's out of it. It's fucking irrelevant over here.
Well, I know Joe's obviously got a really good sense of humor, so if the Bruins find themselves in a hole, I wonder if we can read.
Oh, I'll be on. Well, we might have a new thing.
It was a clean hit! Yeah. It was a clean hit! It was a clean hit!
Not the one on Pacioretty. Not the one on Pacioretty. All right. We did our picks. That's our picks to the game. Please, we have a video on the game.
What about our finals and chance?
Oh, shit, yeah. God, I don't know what to pick. This is going to be tough. I'm going Bruins Ducks.
Ooh.
And I think the Bruins will win their second one in 3 years. And I'm not doing that for
kidding to Joe.
Step. No, I'm not doing it for him.
You think the Bruins are going to have a little bit of extra heart because of what happened?
No, I'm really going on my gut, and I'm just like that first thought that pops in there. That's the logic.
I have Ducks and Canadians.
Oh! All right, who do you have winning?
I have obviously the Canadians.
Yeah, Ducks
Shit,
Canadians.
If the Canadians win, they should fucking.
So there's no you didn't want to double up on Ducks or double up on Bruins?
No, I have Ducks and Canadians.
Vinny doubled up. I think he doubled up on Chicago. We'll see that in future episodes.
Vinny's a young kid, and he's going to go with the flashy team.
No, Vinny is a competitive hockey player that's going to be making a decision whether to be going pro pretty soon.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, wouldn't that be fucking awesome if he became pro and like he played for a local team over here?
Well, Vinny, we talked about it a little bit, and I don't know how serious it is, but I think there's a part of him that wants to make a run at it, and I think the WHL, the Western Hockey League, is always an option, but maybe not one he wants. So he's got some big decisions to make, and I have no idea why he asked me what I thought.
Yeah, or like, dude, I'm a movie usher. Just
I'm not a movie usher, you fucker. I make popcorn.
I don't know. Popcorn maker.
No, I was a projectionist until the fucking technology's changed.
Yeah, now you're the DVD-er.
You know, I used to be signed, whenever I was signed for over $100,000 worth of equipment.
Just to show movies to...
No, it's just like a regular movie theater.
Oh, okay.
Regular, normal movie. Just a single theater. Old-fashioned, very mom-and-pop type. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How many screens?
One.
Oh.
But we do have the latest and greatest of technology as far as that's concerned. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's no, it's not. Fuck you bringing up my job. I should cut the whole segment. I'm not there because I want to be. I was trained for something else. All right, that's what I know. Vinny asked me, and I was actually kind of moved that he would ask me something like that. And he also,
really
he
cool.
also, he made a weird promise. He also asked me to promise him that I'd get back in skates and play like I guess a rec or an over 40 league or something like that, which I would already be doing had I had health care of any kind. All right,
become his agent.
All right, we gotta get the fucking news, man.
That was our pandering to Vinny segment.
Yeah, we love Vinny over here. Vinny in Edmonton.
Yeah.
He's a great fucking guy. Great kid. And I gotta be honest, I wish I was like, he had such like a thing for life. Like, I'm gonna go maybe a fireman. He's 16 years old. He's like a little man, and he's got big dreams, and he has like a sense of honor, that old school sense of honor that you don't really see in a lot of kids his age.
And he's not like just some, like the way like that you've talked about it. He doesn't just sound like some kid. Man, I'm gonna make it in the NHL.
No, I think he said that it's probably not reasonable to make the show, but he could start. I guess he's in a position to start preparing for it. It's just what he wants to do. And by the way, Vinny, if you decide not to go to the NHL, or even if you don't get drafted by the juniors, or I really don't know how that system works over there. I know you're telling about your high school. It was like, you could have been told me it was in mainland China. I would have known the difference. But if it's okay not to play hockey for a living, and you're no less of a man. A real man just goes to fucking work every day and makes sure things work out for his wife, his friends, family. That's what a real man does. So. I was really impressed by that whole conversation, kind of really blown away by it. And likes to know that we have and by the way, he gets this show. He gets it.
Good.
I think he thinks we're making money and stuff. But other than that, he seems to be pretty sharp. All right, enough of fucking Vinny. I had enough of shit. But he sent me his pics. Great kid.
Yeah, message me, Vinny. What the hell? Don't talk
really.
to Tommy.
Talk to him. I hope I didn't put God, you know what? I hope I didn't put him on the spot. And you know what? I don't think he wasn't. I don't want to say that he told me he had a legitimate shot. He just gave me the impression, because I know his friends will make fucking fun of him. I just thought of that. He just gave me the impression that it's something that he could try, but more than likely it wouldn't work out, and he doesn't really want to end up in the WHL, which he doesn't even know he's good enough for that. But he plays hockey every day. He gets up and skates before school. Organized. I can't imagine that. It's just so fucking cool.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. He's like, God, I wish I was.
Can't even make it to the gym. I tried that going to the gym in the morning bullshit.
All right, we got to finish this fucker because we're like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
All right, Erik Karlsson, remarkable recovery. What do you think of this? I am suspicious.
It's insane. If it's for real, it's insane.
First of all, if it's for real, he shouldn't be out there.
Like steroids or human growth hormone or something.
That's going through my mind. It's also going through my mind that this is my conspiracy side thinking. So that means I'm not thinking because people have conspiracy theories they're thinking. But I'm putting out ideas. I'm just saying things. I wonder if there's some kind of drug involved here, which they can get away with because they don't test. Which, by the way, I really don't have a problem with those drugs for recovery. I don't see what the difference is. Recovery's fine. I also think that he may not have been injured as severely as reported. That his Achilles tendon wasn't cut. And due to the kooky owner over there, it wouldn't surprise me a bit. I don't think what's happened is humanly possible. And for some reason, he's on his way skating. I think he's making a terrible mistake. And if he is recovered from this, or at least he thinks he is, I just can't believe the doctors approved this. This doesn't sound real. This is like a 6 to 7 month injury. This is for an older guy that's a career ender. I don't believe this. There's something wrong here. And I'm really happy to see him back because he seems like a great kid. He really seems like a heart of gold. But this goes like beyond heart for me. There's something weird here because it doesn't sound human. And this is not a question of like, wow, look how tough he is. I don't know if this has anything to do with toughness. It just doesn't seem to make... Hey, look, man, if you jump off the fucking Empire State Building, you're not a pussy if you splatter all over the sidewalk. You know what I mean? Although it's pretty epic. I don't know. How do you feel? So you had those feelings too. You had those conspiracy thoughts too.
It makes me... Well, obviously he was hurt. But you know what? If he's coming back this soon, maybe they should drop this whole entire investigation on Matt Cook.
Yeah, baby. Maybe that didn't go well. I don't know. I'm just doing this because I'm in Germany. A German player, Johann Hesch. I mean, they really had a rough year over there in Buffalo. Johann Hesch retiring. Looks like he's on the verge of tears.
Yeah, it's at Buffalo. It's been like a second home, was priority. During the lockout, when something comes up, I knew I was going back to Buffalo, and thankfully it did. I was fortunate enough to play my first game in Buffalo with St. Louis, and play my last game in Buffalo. So it's kind of full circle, came around, and it's a lot of fun.
Even you got a chance at the shootout, which you have won in the past. It's not like you haven't done it before.
Yeah, I just shouldn't be, but we got the win for the last game. That's going to stay in my memory too, and well, a good last game.
Thank you, Jochen.
Thank you.
Did you decide how to post it? Because we talked a few weeks ago, and you were you said you wanted to play more.
Yeah, I'm still going to play more, but
right.
Not here. But I just last few weeks, I kind of decided, or we as a family decided to
your wife
go back and start our life in Germany. That's where we want to go back, and it's best for her.
All right, let me give a little perspective on this. And I just interested. I'll tell you why I aired this, because it's not a really big story. I've never seen a German man so close to tears and acting like that in public, and I find it fascinating.
Well, his whole life is changing. You know?
Yeah. And he said I, and then he said my family, and his wife put his fucking foot down. And by the way, maybe she should have. The doctors warned him last year not to play. And, it seems to suck. I have a great deal of feeling for this guy to sit there and go to a Buffalo team that looked pretty goddamn good on paper and have them fucking stink up the ring like they did this year. I mean, that team now is now in such a rebuilding process that it's almost like an expansion team. I mean, you're talking like 10 years. And it's sad that a guy like Hash, who was tough enough and risked his ass by not listening to doctors, had to be let down that way. And I think what happened was his wife said, this is fucking over. We're going back to Germany because you're going to get killed, and you're not going to get killed for a team that has no chance at the cup.
Well, it's like this. I mean, a lot of these players that, that one of the hardest things they have to do is just call it quits.
Yeah, I know. I've never seen a German guy like that. I just they work so hard in masking emotion.
You know what? He doesn't sound German. It's funny when all these players come over here.
Yeah,
even the American players, they all start to sound Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could hear it a little bit, and he looks German. I mean, he's got that kind of Germany face that I'm so familiar with. But he looks like it was tough for him. He didn't cry, but he could tell he didn't want to. He didn't want to do it. Ray Emery. He's got injuries. So is Dave Booland. Could affect the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, Corey Crawford's starting.
Yeah, I don't know why this is a story because Crawford was starting either way.
I mean, come on. It's like if they said Johan Hedberg's hurt and the Devils were in the playoffs. Like, come on.
Yeah.
He's a start. I mean, Ray Emery does have more wins than the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
As a backup goalie.
No good.
Yeah.
Jesus. Hey, did you see any of that Bobrovsky over in Columbus? The way he played, that guy's fucking amazing. And do you know that he was Ilya Bryzgalov's backup for a while?
Yeah.
That guy might be a new superstar.
He played in the Winter Classic, Bobrovsky.
Yeah, that's right. He played in the Winter Classic. That's right. Good memory. Mm-hmm. That guy's epic. Did I tell you something? That was really unfortunate. We didn't mention that before. The Minnesota Wild held tiebreakers over the Columbus Blue Jackets, who just probably had the biggest heart in the league, and they don't have the talent. And I like to point out that Dubinsky played his ass off. He's been hurt most of the season, former Ranger. And even Mary has been playing pretty good over there. And they damn near made the playoffs. And getting eliminated in the playoffs was not a failure. I think they showed some heart. And considering they lost their star player and they're rebuilding something over there, hats off. I really was entertained by, and their final game was a win by the Columbus Blue Jackets in the last game and pretty much throughout the season. And it's unfortunate that that Minnesota had tiebreakers because I think they're an infinitely, maybe not as talented team, but they're a better team. And it was unfortunate. I'm Gabrick. We'll become a Columbus fan, you pussy. God.
Pussy.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of pussies.
Pussy.
Ex-Leafs GM Brian Burke sues online commentators. Jake, you're going to love this story.
Almost.
Yeah, let me see this. He, well, where's the fucking... All right. This comes from Slam Sports. A guy named Lance Hornsby writes for Slam Sports. And he is reporting that the former general manager and team president to file a lawsuit with the British Columbia Supreme Court on Friday. Burke claims he was defamed online in comments accusing him of having an extramarital affair with sports reporter Hazel May of Rogers Sportsnet.
And that's why these women shouldn't be sports reporters. Goddamn temptress.
I have to confess that I've never let the children watch a hockey game.
Who's this? Sean Burke, you said?
No, Brian Burke.
Brian Burke, okay.
Brian Burke. All right. The actual names of the 18 defendants are not known to Burke, but the social media handles that comments were allegedly made under the comments that were made under include Poonerman, Slobberface, and Sir Psycho Sexy. And then they have a little thing right here.
Somebody's got AOL screen names?
Yeah, those are the screen names he's suing. And they're goofing on because he's suing trolls, essentially. But I don't know. I mean, it is illegal to say you're having an affair with somebody. It's a little more than trolling to say, like, well, he got fired because he was porking some reporter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is illegal. It's slander, man.
Wow.
Or it's libel or slander? I forget. I don't know. It's so long out of school. So what do you like? Do you like Two-Load, Nigra, Mower Man, Kabruminate, Poonerman, Slobberface, or Sir Psycho Sexy?
I like Poonerman.
Poonerman. And it was Nigra. That was the name. He's getting sued. How much you want to bet he's white?
What, Nigra?
Yeah.
They all sound like They sound like kids that have called me faggot and said that they had sex with my mom and Halo. Yeah. I think I've gotten into a fight with Pooterman online.
Let me tell you something, kid. If you were here, you could talk that shit online. But if you were here right now, I'd cut your cock off and I'd shove it down your fucking throat. Don't think I won't.
My favorite line that I say, and it's really fucked up, when they start talking about my mom, I just go, hey, my mom died during 9/11.
You're terrible. You know what I do? Well, you gotta dig her up first.
My one friend that he just starts dying laughing when I say that. It never gets old.
He died at 9/11. Yeah, my mom died 9/11.
Because some people just they just don't know how to take it. Like after you say that.
Yeah, I know. And there's always those people out there that want to I don't know. Neil Yakupov, Rookie of the Month. Didn't he be happy?
Nice.
Yeah, he had a hat trick his last game.
That team
He's a high-scoring rookie this year, too. How about that? Neil Yakupov. Has a funny name. Sounds like a Russian that goes to marathons.
Oof. I don't know. I think we got to close out this show. Or 9/11 jokes, age jokes, marathon jokes.
Welcome to A Shot from the Point. We cover all the greatest.
That's right.
Ugh.
Oh, this is getting a little bit too blue.
Could be. Paul Holmgren, general manager of Philadelphia Flyers, got pretty pissed off. When somebody asked him, I guess, if Laviolette's going to be back. So when they asked him, they're like, I'm not going to even comment on these bleeping... Fuck this. I got my own show. I'm not going to even comment on these fucking sources. Some idiot made it up. Asked if for sure he could say Laviolette would return, Holmgren said, I'm not saying a fucking thing. How many times do I have to tell you? I haven't even thought about firing the coach. How many times? Rough week for Philadelphia press.
Yeah.
God, the only reason I did this because I dreamed of the audio. It's the only reason I covered that story. We got to be getting to the end of this.
Yeah. I had Tracy walking in the room.
We're at that stage. Well, maybe I'll skip a few stories. Damn good show, though.
Yeah.
Very happy. Tim Taylor, 30-year-old at Yale, 30-year coach at Yale, just passed away. He's a longtime hockey coach, and Yale they just won the championship, too. I'll report that. Which NHL player jersey sold the most?
Ovechkin.
Jonathan Toews. No surprise
Really?
about that.
Wow.
Yeah. Jonathan Toews, number 1. Datsuk, number 2. Crosby, number 3. Rick Nash, number 4. Patrick Kane, number 5. God, I would have thought Patrick Kane would have been number 1 because I think he's the coolest damn hockey player. Ryan Callahan was number 8.
Really?
Yeah, that surprised me, too. Zach Parise, Minnesota Wild, was number 10.
Hey, you got to understand the New Jerseys are always going to go.
John Tavares, maybe underrated with the media, but definitely not the fans, number 17. Alex Ovechkin, number 19. I can't understand why he wouldn't be number 1. And, and second to last would be Zdeno Chara. You love that, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to beat the shit. I used to play for that.
I think they had him. It was either one of the guys on Buffalo or I think it was a Gianta. They had him standing next to Zdeno Chara on a face-off.
Yeah.
And it just said, I didn't realize that it was Bring Your Kid to Work Day.
You ever see that old picture of that big shark jaw they have, and there's like 5 people standing in it in some museum? That's Zdeno Chara, standing next to any kind of Parise or Verbeek or Fleury. I'm going to say this. This is the final opposite. This is sad news personally, and I wouldn't report it under any other circumstances other than it affects me personally. The Trenton Titans of the ECHL are expected to announce that they're ceasing operations for the 2013-2014 season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is kind of sad. These guys had a really, really good following when I left. And they were a really, really fun team to watch. And a lot of people didn't even know like how great they were. And it wasn't even that difficult. And they were in a pretty good arena for a minor league hockey team that just league is all fucking types of disorganized and fucked. I had a really good time. I got to go once. I followed the Titans a little bit.
I used to enjoy watching their games on CN8.
Yeah, they put them on CN8
locally.
This is sad, and it's surprising because they've really built up hockey, but apparently it's a pain in the ass to get to Trenton. So it's ECHL teams come and go. The fact that we had it for as long as it is kind of surprising.
They were the Trenton Devils for a little bit, and then they went back.
They went back to being the Titans.
Funny. Yeah, well, I think it was all ECHL. Yeah. My friend, he's a big New Jersey Devils fan, but he's also a big Trenton Devils fan. And he actually kind of met his wife at a Trenton Devils game, and they got married on the ice before a game.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Hey, do you know I went to the New Jersey Rock and Rollers final, and there was this guy at work who was a really big hockey fan, really nice guy, always coming up to me. And then when I was at the game, I heard that one of these guys at the Devils game, or the Rock and Rollers game, which probably had less than 10,000 people there for the final. I think it's just about the time the RHI quit. And yeah, I think this is it. Mayon Riom was playing for the Rock and Rollers, by the way. And somebody announced.
What was that again that you said?
Mayon Riom, the female player.
Yeah, I got his. Oh. No, there was another guy. He came down, signed a bunch of shit for all of us. For our kids.
Well, anyway, we're there, and somebody announced, and we'd like to the happy couple, and then they put the spotlight on, will you marry me? And I'm thinking to myself, I was laughing, I was like, well, you wouldn't even do this at a Devils game. They do this at a fucking roller hockey game. What a boob. So I was like, I go into work, and I see my buddy, and he's a big Devils fan. He's a really good guy, and he's always talking about hockey. He's like, Tommy, and I think both Dory, he's going to have breakouts. He's got a real bez in his shot. He's a really great guy. And I said, yeah, I'm always scared about Dory, but I tell you something. I went to that RHI thing. He says, yeah, I go to those games. They're great. And I said, yeah, I did too. And some dope decided to get married. He asked his friggin' fiance to marry him right there. Like, we didn't have the fucking guts to do it at a Devils game. I mean, you have Devils season tickets. So, I mean, if you're ever going to do something like that, you do it at a Devils game. And he looks me right in the eye and says, yeah, it was me. God's true story. I think Jason will know who I'm talking about. We worked with the guy at Ortho McNeil Pharmaceuticals. He might know who I'm talking about. God's honest truth.
Wow.
Hey, great show. Hit the music. Let's do the plugs and bag this playoff edition.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, go. Your turn, fuckface.
Oh, I was waiting for, I think I was waiting for the music. I guess you had it later.
No, I'll battle later.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for ruining everything. No, another surprise. It's like the wrestling has been... Now we all know wrestling's fake, thanks to you.
I ruined the
music, just talk.
Santa's not real. I will probably be back at Fridays doing an open mic again. I went last week. It was horrible. I went up there. I said a joke where I say the word faggot. The line goes, I go, if you're ever in a fight with your wife or your girlfriend, and it's not going anywhere, just call her a faggot. She doesn't know how to react to it. Everybody just stopped. And, they don't want to hear the word faggot when they're trying to enjoy their Jack Daniels chicken. But it was great because afterwards, because there was a few other comments.
It's not really a great joke, but I sort of know I think you need to retool it.
Yeah.
It's a good idea that needs to be retooled.
Yeah, it was. I don't even think that's what I said. But then this one drunk lady goes up there, because there was a bunch of young kids. She goes,
my son's gay! How dare you!
No, she said, all you young kids need to lighten the fuck up and stop being so fucking pussies.
Oh, God. God bless her.
I know.
God bless her. Ugh.
I don't know, I'm wearing pink and kissing guys. Anyhow.
Yeah.
That's why I just want girls in the locker room.
Do you have any plugs? Yeah, what about your Twitter and all your things?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, make sure you put that up on the page when you post the show.
I always post your Twitter account on the page.
No, you don't.
I don't?
No.
Jakeling comedy? I don't?
No.
Now's not the time to tell me, you fuckface.
I don't know. I figure if you.
Well, now I'll definitely remember, especially when I'm editing the show.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Jakeling comedy. I'm on. Send me a tweet. I'll respond to you. I don't care.
Sure.
And you can also find me on Skype if you want to just chit chat.
Yeah.
It's Comic Jake 85, and find me on Facebook. Just Jake Link. It's me. It's my profile picture is just me winning the championship with the Honey Badgers.
Yeah.
So,
and he'll friend anybody, rapists, criminals. Doesn't.
I don't
matter.
care.
Yeah, I don't care. But if you get caught, he's definitely going to share it with the rest of his dopey friends.
Dude, I used to work with.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. That was funny. Yeah. Sorry about that. All right, JohnFreemanMusic.com, JohnFreemanMusic.com, JohnFreemanMusic.com. John Freeman writes music just like the music that you're hearing right now. He can write it for your show and write music for you. He's also signable, professional musician, plays all sorts of instruments from bass to guitar to piano to, I don't know, skin flute. John does music. How's that for a commercial? The Joe Cornyn Show. The Joe Cornyn Show. Joe Cornyn, he's one of our featured shows here on our YouTube. He also does a very similar YouTube show. Covers wrestling, Boston Bruins, all things Boston. I mean, this guy got 100,000 hits on a short rant on CM Punk punching motherfucker in the face. I never listened to it yet, but I'm about to. It's his mostly. He got 100,000 on a rant. That's excellent. Joe Cornyn Show. Super talented guy. We're working on him now, coming up with bits with him right now. So he's a friend of this show, and anything we can do for Joe Cornyn, we will. We will. We'll at least do our best. Like Joe Cornyn. Shot from the Pointer, Dead on Dave Vancura has two things in the works. He's re-releasing new episodes of A View from the Scouts, where he goes on a multitude of sports issues. And him and Soul Crushing Radio, Soul Crushing Radio is transferred to this Orange Soda Drink Network, and they're doing their shows there. And from that little, get together, it's going to spawn a new show called The Nerd and the Jerk, which is currently in the works for Dave. Dave is a part of this show. He's what do you call it? I guess a point man, right, Jake? Like you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's got a bunch of projects going. Very excited about The Nerd and the Jerk. Please check that out. He's on Twitter below. Actually, I'll leave a link to his podcast group on Facebook. That's what I'll do, because I think you might be able to get there and what have you. And like I said, him and Soul Crushing Radio, blah, 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 whatever. You can catch Shot from the Point. If you like the show, share the show. If you like the show, share the show. You can check Shot from the Point on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. And nobody listens to that shit anyway. Google+, Facebook, Twitter. On Twitter, which I'd rather you follow me on, is JERSEYGHOSTS. Twitter. For tweeters. Fucking Twitter's stupid. Y'all could check out my Facebook site, Tommy C's Podcast at Older Crap. You can see how wonderfully creative and gifted I am. I don't know, Google that shit. Google Plus, but I mean, shit. I just put it in there because I almost have to because it's connected.
MySpace, a Zanga, Live Journal.
Whatever.
AOL chat rooms. You know.
Sure. ICQ. No.
Prodigy.
Prodigy. Prodigy. What else? All right, is Tracy there?
Tracy's why, you want to talk to her?
Is she? You want to put her on the show?
Sure. Hold on.
Come on. Go get her.
Has to come on to the show. You don't want to? Come on.
He doesn't have to do it.
No, she's tired.
All right. That means you have duty.
What?
That's what it sounds like to me. You have to do your man duty. Stand around and be a fucking man.
What's that?
You have man duty to do. It's quite obvious. I mean, she may not know what the fuck you're supposed to be doing, but I bet she thinks right now you should be doing fucking something.
Getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what is it, like fucking 9 o'clock already in the morning over there?
Hey, great show.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Jake.
All right, no problem.
All right, everybody. Thank you for turning in to A Shot from the Point, our bonus episode, which we were going to cut it down to one, but I think this is a special show.
Yes.
I don't know if the future ones. We had to do the picks and shit. Good show. A lot of fun.
Just fast forward through it.
Yeah, really.
If we bore you, just go like 5 minutes.
Well, we make one little kid in Edmonton very happy.
That's right.
And that gives me a warm heart.
Mm-hmm. I don't care. We'll just sit here and cater to Vinny for all the shows. I can care less.
I really don't care either.
This is for you, Vinny. Every show from here on out is dedicated to Vinny.
To you.
Yes. If you don't like it, we'll get rid of it.
It's dedicated to you, and hopefully your friends, and I don't know, share the fucking show, man. I want to get out. I want to get out of this apartment. I need a new apartment, please. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in to the playoff episode of Shot from the Point. Like the show, share the show. See you next week. Peace.